Right. So this session is recorded. I hope everybody's okay with that. It's an informational session for Hacker Summer Camp. Uh, we also had one more presenter today, Ruchira. She's not able to join due to some office emergency. So, but we have all other four speakers with us sharing their experience and preparation for Hacker Summer Camp. So, welcome everyone. We are going to talk about Hacker Summer Camp, and if you're not aware, or if you're aware, Hacker Summer Camp is a series of conference which happens in August in Las Vegas. We are going to be covering conferences like the Diana Initiative, B-Sides Las Vegas, Black Hat USA, DEF CON. If I'm forgetting anything, let me know. But I think these four conferences, they're happening at the Vegas at the Hacker Summer Camp and usually at the first week of August. All of us in this session, including me as the host and rest of these presenters, they would be at Hacker Summer Camp this year. And we are going to share some of the preparation points. Some of these speakers have been to Hacker Summer Camp before. It's the first time for Shivani as well. So as the first timer, what she's preparing, she's going to share with us. So let's get this started. I'm going to start from what I see on top of my screen. SWOTCon. Megan also mentioned, so I'll let Megan also share that in our conversation. So Megan, let's start with you. I'll move from you, and then everybody, you can unmute yourself, like Harini, Shivani, and Krity in that order, and introduce yourself to the attendees.
Yeah, thanks, Aastha. Hello and welcome, everyone, and happy Sunday. My name is Meghan Jacot. I am a cybersecurity engineer with Carnegie Mellon University's Software Engineering Institute in their CERT division. So you might hear academic in there, but we're actually practitioners, and I focus on offensive security best practices, doing research with pen testing. How do we implement a pen test? How do we best assess? And looking at zero trust as well as Gen AI assessments.
Awesome. I can go next. Hi, everyone. I'm Harini, and I work as a security engineer at a tech company. My role is majorly focused on application security as well as building in security tooling to secure new products and features. And yeah, I'm also tapping into the generative AI space to see how we can protect the products, which makes use of agents and other like LLM functionality. Happy to talk about Hacker Summer Camp today.
Thanks, Harini, and hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Shivani, founder and CEO of Cleap Technologies. Cleap is a cybersecurity consulting firm that started back in 2020 when COVID just hit. So I did come into cyber through a very traditional path. I started out as an educator and moved into consulting over the years, working for Big Four. And then I found myself drawn to the real world impact of cyber, not just the technology, but also the people behind it. So here I am today.
Hi everyone, I am Krity Kharbanda. I work with ServiceNow in application security and mainly working on the DevSecOps. So everything from SaaS to SCA, DAST, and also now Gen AI comes into DevSecOps. So deal with everything on daily basis. And I have been working in cybersecurity for more than 3 years now, been in this space, and this is my second time going to the Hacker Summer Camp. Hopefully, I'll be able to provide some good tips and advice for you all today. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kriti. And again, welcome all the presenters. To start our conversations with, I'm going to circle back to Megan again. And I want to bring back the conversation of when I was talking about what is Hacker Summer Camp. I do want to bring this perspective with everyone around as an attendee. Like, Megan, what's your vision has been around Hacker Summer Camp? Like, you have been going there for, I think, 4 years in a row now. So with these four conferences happening simultaneously. So, what has been your experience in the last 4 years, and what has been your highlight? What do you like to attend during this whole 1 week of Hacker Summer Camp? So, what's your goal? And let's take some tips from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been attending Hacker Summer Camp conferences since 2019, pre-pandemic. So DC 27 was my first one. And I just find them to be a wonderful collection of everything everywhere all at once. There's always going to be something happening. There's always going to be something cutting edge. There's always going to be something you can dig deeper into because maybe you've covered it a little bit, but you don't know that much about it. And so you can literally go, like, for example, Car Hacking Village within DEF CON. You can be like, well, I know how to drive a car, but don't know how to hack a car. Let me go learn something more about this. And so I just think it is a wonderful place to be a continued learner, but also give back to our community. So that's something that I've done for like the last 4 or 5 years. Is I've been a safety goon, SOC goon. And I have been able to help out with Diana Initiative and then mentor new speakers at B-Sides Las Vegas. So I always look for opportunities to give back to our community because I feel like I get so much out of the community and always new opportunities to learn, be it what are some of the most recent 0 days that you might find out about at Black Hat or something more hands-on. So those are kind of some of the things that I look forward to and I feel like keep me coming back year after year, as well as just the time spent with people. You will meet new folks. Some of the people on this call I've actually had breakfast with last year, and I think it's really wonderful to be able to get to spend that time together and kind of all just discuss about where we're going and what we want to do.
Thank you so much. And that's pretty interesting. And I would like to say Megan is a veteran here in terms of Hacker Summer Camp in this group. She's going there for like 4 years. So hearing from her, tips from her would be, I would say, generously very, very beneficial. So thank you. We have just started. So we would be moving to other different aspects too. So I'll move on to Harini now. Harini has been a first timer before. This is her second time going to Hacker Summer Camp. So, what has been your experience before, Harini? What drew you towards Hacker Summer Camp when you went there for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. I've also been in the cybersecurity industry for about 3 to 4 years now. And, when I started, there weren't, like in my peer group, there weren't as much people in cybersecurity. So when I got to know about, like, okay, this is one venue which is dedicated to cybersecurity, where people are going to talk about different topics, different, dimensions in cybersecurity. So I just found that like very fascinating. And I think it's a great place to, speaking from experience last year as well. There's so much diversity in, in the number, like the kind of sessions in the conference, diversity in the backgrounds of people coming there. There are people who are veterans, people who are starting out, people working in different areas of cybersecurity, or people entrepreneurs, coming up with new products in this space. So I think the whole combination of that was very interesting, and I definitely took away learning new things which I wouldn't not be likely to encounter on my day-to-day basis. So, yeah, I think that's what drew me to Hacker Summer Camp, and I had a blast last year.
Awesome. And which conferences would you mind highlighting? Like, which one did you went actually last time, and which one are you going this time? So that would also give everybody a perspective.
Oh, great. Yeah. So I went to B-Sides Las Vegas, and I was also happy to be a first-time speaker along with Krity at B-Sides Las Vegas last year. And I also went to Black Hat last year. This year, I'll be going to Black Hat and my first time at DEF CON.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. I will just move forward to Kriti because Harini just mentioned about Kriti that both of them they presented together. So share your experience, Kriti. I know it was your first time as well, first time speaking, first time going to Hacker Summer Camp, and what was your highlight for the first time, and what drew you to Hacker Summer Camp?
I would start by what drew me to Hacker Summer Camp, and I would say I wanted to go, but then also I was looking for a conference where I could present for the first time. And for me, Hacker Summer Camp, like all big conferences, might not be where you would get like your first chance. And Harini and I were working on something together. We were thinking like which conferences should we apply to, and she randomly said, "Let's try B-Sides Las Vegas." I'm like, "B-Sides Las Vegas? That's like a very big conference. How would be like? Let's start by like smaller B-Sides ones maybe." And she told me, "No, there is a thing where you can go like for the first time is you can apply. You would get a mentor." And I was like, okay, let's do it because I was anyhow like I want a chance where I can be at Black Hat for the first time. I wanted to attend Black Hat, but Black only going for Black Hat, that too in August, was not very much appealing. So when this came up idea, I thought let's apply, and if we get selected, I'll probably do both of them, because I always feel like Black Hat is like one of the biggest conferences. That was in my head, like where I can meet people from all levels in the industry, like the place where I could network the most, find sessions on all kinds of topics that's going on in the industry right now. And we got in, we got selected. So we both went, attended B-Sides, Black Hat. I was also there attending Diana last year. So it went really well. Speaking experience was very good. We got a lot of good feedback. And the best part was the one thing that I was scared, I kept telling Harini, if I see people getting up and walking away when we are speaking out of the room, I would be like, we are doing something wrong here. I would start feeling that, and I was so nervous. But that did not happen. Most of the people who came in sat till end, and then so many questions came to us. Our mentor was really good. So that experience was very good. And attended Black Hat and Diana as well. I would say Diana was just a 1 day conference, but very good sessions. And they have very good, apart from sessions, they also have like activities, engaging activities, like the room where there would be like, I think there was lock picking or something, but I'm forgetting exactly what it was, but it was very interesting. Like in between, when you want that break from the sessions and you want to spend your time still at the conference, so that was good. And I think all in all, I was very much convinced I'm coming back next year, because all the networking sessions I went to, I found good people, people who were actually open to sharing their experiences and how what they're doing in their jobs, what companies do they work for, and very, very communicative. So I really like their whole environment. Just the heat is bad. Apart from that, everything was really good. So I thought, why not? Let's just do it another year. Yeah.
Awesome. And that's very inspiring to hear. Like when we are going for the first time and presenting to, it's like a journey that we go through. We want everything to go really well, from presenting to, I think, just being at these big conferences, so many people, it's sometimes very intimidating. And we're going to discuss that as well when we talk about networking section. But thanks, Kriti, for sharing. And we'll definitely circle back to some of the points that you have shared as we continue our conversations. I'll head over to Shivani for a moment, because Shivani is going to be there for the very first time. All three of you have been there for an year or maybe more than a 1 year, like Megan. But Shivani, what brings you to Hacker Summer Camp this year? And I would love you to share your vision with everybody, because here may be people who are going for the very first time or maybe planning to go next year. So your perspective and vision will also really help and make people maybe draw towards these conferences.
Yeah, definitely. So I have been to like a lot of cyber events, tech events in India, Middle East, but Black Hat has always been on my top list to attend, and I've been very fortunate and lucky to do it this time. And what brings me to Black Hat is curiosity. And along with that, it's the belief that the community shapes around it, how people think and perceive about cyber. Because uh, I want to be part of those conversations that push the industry forward, where we talk openly about like what is broken, what can be fixed, what working fine, what's not working, and then build more inclusive, resilient, and being the part of that future which sees cyber as part of their life. So I want to be in that space. So this space can be intense, I know, but it is full of people who care deeply, and that's what I'm here for.
That's awesome. And I think firsts are always special. So I
Yeah,
think when you come back, Shivani, we can have a recap session with the rest of this cast together with you. And we would definitely learn like what was your experience? Because I know you shared you have like been to
yep,
different conferences like in Middle East and India before, on the eastern part of the world, but for the very first time here. So I think there would be contrasting things in terms of experience and learning. So we would love
yep,
to hear that when you come back. And now, like now I've understood, like, okay, um, there's a great part to these conferences, definitely. And Megan reminded me of that movie, Oscar movie, like everything. Um, I just forgot that name, but it
Yeah.
was like everything
Everything
at one
everywhere
place.
all at
And
once. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it's just like that. And like if you do not attend like multiple conferences across the year, if you just go to this Hacker Summer Camp, you get the opportunity to be at multiple conferences in one single week, which is great. But it can be I would say very overwhelming too. And that brings me to my next point of discussion with you all. And again, I'm going to circle back with Megan again. Like, what are some of the planning, scheduling tips that you can give? Like, if you want to give like top three tips so that people can plan and schedule, like how they want to attend and make most of the Hacker Summer Camp, what are some of the tips and tricks that you want to share in terms of planning and scheduling?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, first of all, this is a tip, but it might sound counterintuitive. I You will not be able to go to everything. There's absolutely no way. So when you're trying to figure out like what's your schedule, what are your priorities, think through what are some of the goals that you have that you want to get out of this week or this one conference. It just depends on how many things you're attending. Um, but even if you're just attending one of these conferences, there's too many sessions that happen all at the same time, so you will not be able to go to all of them. So be like be choosy, be picky. Secondarily, leave gaps in your schedule because it is going to happen that you'll meet someone or you'll learn about a thing or you'll just be exhausted because maybe you don't live in Las Vegas and you're not used to 130 even of a dry heat and so, or even if you live there, right? There's just so much that's happening at that time that you're exhausted. So leave breaks in your schedule, leave gaps in your schedule so that you can recharge, or you also have space and time for events that you encounter. And then third tip would be to really try to hone in on, you know, a specific thing that you're like, this kind of ties into the first thing I was saying, but a specific thing that you want to get out of this time and try to achieve that. Like reflect at the end of each day, have I made progress towards this goal? Like a goal that I set a couple years ago, it was to attend several sessions on how do we do prompt injection. And so I wanted to better understand that. I wanted to take notes. I wanted to be able to take that back to some work that I was doing and kind of use that as the jumping board for a new project. And at the end of each day, I would be like, okay, am I making progress toward that? Yes, I am. And one tool that can help you with that is there's a really fantastic app called Hacker Tracker. And it's a free app on both Apple or Google. And so you can get that on your phone, and it has most of the conferences on it. So it has B-Sides LV, Diana, and DEF CON. Black Hat has their own app, and then SquadCon, the schedule's on their website. So depending on what you're going to, you can kind of organize things through that application. Super helpful. But just enjoy, have fun.
Awesome. I think that's a very, very good tip. And I think one thing which Megan also highlighted was we would not be able to attend everything. So definitely there is a FOMO, and which we are trying to like move away from. That's why we are bringing this question because I think like Megan shared, she has her own goals, her like her scheduling with these events because what is she looking forward to, which sessions she wants to attend, where things are happening, if she have some friends, colleagues coming. And so all of that really kind of designs your schedule, but at the same time you can feel overwhelming. And like as Megan shared her experience, I want to hear more from like Harini and Krity at this point. I'll go with Harini first. Like, how was your first experience? Did you feel overwhelmed about the very first time you went to Hacker Summer Camp, and how did you plan and schedule your visit?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I went to B-Sides, Las Vegas, and Black Hat. It was nice to get started with B-Sides Las Vegas personally for me because I felt like the crowd was like more manageable in my head. Like B-Sides Las Vegas is about 3,000 ish people attendee size, where when you compare to Black Hat, I think it's around 20,000. So I feel like besides Las Vegas was a good kind of warm up for me to get to network with people because I personally find comfort in like smaller groups. I think that was a good experience for me to get started with B-Sides Las Vegas. That I think was over 2 days. And Black Hat is huge. And plus one to whatever Megan said, you absolutely cannot do everything at either of these conferences actually, because there'll be multiple tracks, going in parallel. And also with Black Hat, especially, the sessions may be in different parts of the building. So you might do one session in one tower, or then for the next session, you might have to run. So I think I did a lot of that running last year in Black Hat, which I would like to avoid this year. So my number one tip is going to be like prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. And the way I'm thinking about it is, I would prioritize one or two like tracks which are like of interest to me and very like closely aligning with my job as well. So for example, I'm in AppSec. I also do like some research on generative AI use cases, tooling, and how to like test these like implementations, right? Like for example, prompt injection, like Megan mentioned, or fuzzy. So I would prioritize sessions there, but even not just being like, oh, this session is interesting, I want to go to it, but also just doing a little bit more research on, okay, what is that topic about? Who's the speaker? Is this something which is like a must do for me, or is it okay if I skip this if something else were to come? You meet someone there, you have a networking conversation, you want to continue, or you hear from word of mouth that, oh, there is this speaker and there's this session, we should try that out. So like Megan said, like leaving that flexibility as well. So really picking out what are like one or two tracks you want to prioritize, and then like also having some priority like must do, or okay if I miss this and catch up on a recording later. Um, and yeah, I think, and yeah, and also like leaving room for something a little different. So those may not be directly related to what you do on a day-to-day basis, but just something fun and interesting. For example, this year I think there's a talk on like two researchers found out a way to hack e-scooters. That's not something I do on my day-to-day, but it's just very fun to learn about. So I think leaving room for something a little out of the ordinary for you would also make the experience fun.
That is great. Is there something that I know one of the things you regretted was I have to prioritize and prioritize. Megan has just put some resources in the chat. I want to bring that topic up as well to you and Kriti. Both. I'll continue with Harini and then move to Kriti. What do you think in terms of like comfortable shoes? Often we plan to wear like we want to go out in these conferences, very professional. You're just up and ready, and sometimes that does not work for us. So, was there any similar experience which happened with you, Harini, last time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember I was cribbing to Kriti about a pair of shoes I wore for Black Hat on one of the days and I regretted it. So, yeah, absolutely, like comfy shoes is a must. And also just comfortable clothes, because
Yeah.
you're going to be in this conference, like even if you're attending like breakfast events, for example. So your day probably starts at like 8 a.m. and it just goes on. The conference itself leads up to 5 p.m. and then there are a lot of networking opportunities later. So you're going to have very long days. So just wearing clothing which is like more breathable, I would say is a must. This year, I'm also going to be packing a portable fan. Those battery operated fans. Yeah, because the heat is
It's too
yeah,
hot.
it's very hot. And also because it's like dry heat, you may feel like a lot dehydrated. So like
Yeah.
packing a lightweight, water bottle I would also highly recommend that.
Absolutely. I totally agree to that. And thanks, Harini, for sharing about the clothes part as well. It is so true. It's literally, I think, after pandemic and everything else, even through these conferences experience, sometimes when you're going for the first time, you just don't realize we want to be looking like as neat, clean, as good looking from top to tip to top. And it's very tough to do that because you will be frustrated at the end of the day. And I want to bring that discussion to Kriti now. Could you share your experience in terms of plannings and all of these mishaps that happen over the time?
I think comfy shoes can't stress on that more because you will have to walk. You'll be walking like 20K steps one day. You will not even realize because even if you plan things, prioritize things, the venues are so big to go from one place to another. There's no other way. You just have to walk. And if you want to walk, your feet should be in those comfortable shoes. So that's like a must. I remember last time Harini was, and I was like, okay, we'll take breaks, and we were walking. But that, and as Asta said, everyone wants to be like ready properly, just dressed in a way. But I think no one is going to notice that. Just wear your comfortable t-shirts, tops, whatever feel comfortable, carry comfortable pants. No one is going to see if you are in a dress, if you are presenting yourself. You can still present yourself well if you're wearing like a neat t-shirt that you're feeling comfortable in. And dehydration is going to be like you won't even feel what's happening, but it's actually going to be the dehydration. So carry electrolytes, like even if you're not drinking too much water, carry like those liquid IVs or something, so that whenever you're drinking water, just put it in that, so that you do not feel that dehydration, because it brings a lot of things. You'll feel headaches, nauseous. So because that's dry heat. So some people who feel the dry heat a lot, maybe nasal sprays work. Last time, Richard is not there, but she suggested, because a lot of people were facing problems. So nasal sprays was something I saw a lot of people carrying. Fans, because even if you try that you do not want to walk outside, you will still have to be like, even if you're taking cabs, you'll be standing out there. Or sometimes one venue is very near and you might have to just take a little walk. You can't take cab for everything. So in those situations, those portable fans or like light jackets which can help you from the UV and still keep you cool, those kinds of things probably I think come in really handy. And I would say do not like go into the, it's very easy to get into that FOMO, but do not get into that, because if you get into that, you will be affecting your health. Don't let that happen, because you want to make the most out of it. So prioritize yourself, prioritize your things, and I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I agree to that. And specifically the part of being exhausted and tired, it would be there. And if you just stretch too much, I think by the time you reach home, um attending this conference, you might not feel really good because you have like overtired yourself and over exhausted yourself. So it's good. I think one of the things, and I'm assuming Kriti and Harini might have planned, is maybe what they did not attend last time they might want to attend this time, or what they think was not working for them last time they might want to avoid this time. And each one of us, it's not just them, I'm just sharing from their first time experience, that can happen. And I hope, Shivani, this will help you, because I know you're going for the first time. All comfortable shoes and packing are important. So I think all three of us, including
Yeah.
me, four of us have shared some things which are very, very important. And um, tell me, what were you planning? Like, were you aware of this if we had not brought this topic?
I think out of everything, maybe 10%. But Harini got me when she said you might have to run from one building to another. So I'm just wanting to have my best shoes on and just to be ready for it. But what I am thinking of, like planning in a way, like what I want to do, because we should always have like a theme or an agenda in mind, like what I'm going there for. So me as a business owner, I would be more interested in talking to people, CXOs or business owners, like, about their businesses, how cyber is working out, and having those collaboration, partnership talks. And, that would be something on my head more. And then attending, like, I've gotten some invites for like roundtables, and also that would be, I would be interested in attending. So, and one thing, like all of you touched upon, like, have an agenda. And, sometimes not having an agenda also works out, because best thing comes out of having no agenda at all. So you never know. You go with a structured approach, like, 9 a.m. I'll do this, 10 a.m. I'll do this. And in turn, from 9 to 11, you're talking to somebody and you don't even know like where the time went. So it
Yeah.
would be like, I'm just going with a very open, clear head. I just want to soak in the black hat as a whole. I don't want to chase everything all at once. I just want to be there at the moment, see, meet people, look at the things, and just soak in the black hat energy all at once. So that's what I want to do. I just want to be open to it.
That's great. And actually, Shivani, you have brought me to my next discussion, which was going to be networking. Specifically at these conferences, networking happens at so many different segments. You also mentioned, and we all
Yeah,
know that you're a business owner. You also mentioned like you are like anticipating like meeting some people,
yes.
getting some collaborations and things in place. Is there any specific networking event which you are planning to attend? If it's in top of your mind, if it's not, that's completely fine. But are there any events that are top of your mind as a
Uh,
business owner?
uh, Not top of my mind, but there are two invites that I got for roundtable lunch and learn for CXOs. One is I think hosted by Kendrill, another one is by uh, Palo Alto. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly right on that, but there are two which is happening, one on 6th and one on 7th. I'm trying to attend those because I think those will be the rooms where I would get the maximum output for me. So that's what I'm trying to attend. And also, I would want to go to the business hall and see what all new in tech is coming up, what new in cyber now with AI, things are advancing so quickly. How are we pacing with it? So I want to see everything in business hall too. I don't think so I can see everything, but I want to see part of it. And that's what I want to do. And also, there are few sessions that I have added to my schedule to attend. One would be yours, Asta. I'm attending one with Vanna and
Thank
Ajit.
you.
So there are
Yes.
few that I have on my list to attend. Not much. I've not packed everything, but I'm keeping some room for impromptu or ad
Oh,
hoc something
Yeah.
comes up.
exactly. Yeah. Open conversation and impromptu
Yes,
can happen anywhere. Where while you attend a session or you present a session or you're just there. Sometimes you just meet people on the go
absolutely.
in the business hall as well, and you might not know you're having a coffee or you're just having a group chat. And I think that is what is very heartwarming because you did not plan that. And when these
Absolutely.
conversations and collaborations happen, so they just take you to another level of happiness and stuff. So thanks, Shimani, for sharing that. I'm going to like head over to Megan back again. Megan, what has been your experience in terms of like networking, connecting with people, and how it has like helped you in the past, both in professional or in personal way? I would love to know that, and each one of us would love to know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So during the course of the week of Hacker Summer Camp, there are just a tremendous amount of opportunities for networking. You can sign up for events that are hosted by organizations. You can join an event that's hosted by one of the conferences. So, for example, Monday evening, Diana Initiative has a neurodivergent dinner, and besides Las Vegas has a board game night. Tuesday, there is SemGrep is hosting a event at Meow Wolf, which if you have not been in Las Vegas, is this really it's I don't know how to even explain it, but it's kind of like a escape room mystery themed thing, but then also has a lot of other things going on. So they got the Omega Mart, which has that. Really, really amazing. So there's just every evening there's an event. In the mornings there's events. So I think Thursday I'm planning to go to a women's networking breakfast. Um, so I don't know. I really enjoy those. I try to take advantage of doing a couple different things every day. Not always at the same time, of course, because you can't be in more places than once. And I've just found those conversations to be really invaluable. You often end up having a group of people that you see time and time again. You might even be local to each other, but you see each other at these conferences, and you're building these networks and relationships. And I have found that that has led to just joy, strengthening relationship, but also potential opportunities for conducting research and sharing that out at a future conference. I've had that happen several times where you just start into a conversation with someone, you're like, oh, you're working on that too, or you have that question. What if we did a collab and did a presentation on that later on? So I've had that happen multiple times throughout the course of my career, and they're just conversations you have because you spent the time having those conversations. And it might have been someone you didn't know before the event, and now you do know them, and now you're working on a project with them. So I think it's really amazing the different things that can happen.
It's just bang on what Megan you just shared in the end. Like you just meet someone, you get to know like, oh, they have the same question, same thought process or chain of thought going on, and you're like, okay, let's like you discuss that, and sometimes you come up with ideas, and then there is a collaboration, and you never know next year you're presenting at the same conference where you're attending. So that's, I think, the biggest achievements which just happens over impromptu in these conferences. And I just want to ask one more question to you, Megan, before I move forward with Harini and other folks. Um, how, like, is there any specific scenario that you want to share with everybody in terms of your personal development or professional development, which might have happened through Hacker Summer Camp in the last 4 years? Anything, any
Oh, wow.
highlight on top of the mind?
I mean, I would say like becoming a sock goon has been a really big deal. So I did a career pivot to cybersecurity pre-pandemic and attended DEF CON for the first time in 2019. And I then started volunteering in 2021. But I started volunteering with Diana Initiative first. And so I'm on staff with them, and my being on staff with them led Nicole Schwartz to say, "Hey, I think you might make a good sock goon." She's not a goon, which are the volunteers at DEF CON. They wear red shirts. But she's like, yeah, let me introduce you to this person, Ada. I think that you'd be a really good fit for her team. Which then led me to interview for the volunteer role and led me to get that. Um, and I've now I'm the third shift team lead for my small group, and we're the escalation group. We're the group that you call if things are not going so great. I'll talk about that more kind of at the end of this. But like just those kind of showing up and volunteering and being committed led to another thing, led to another thing, led to another thing. And it's been really kind of career changing. I've met a lot of different people through those experiences. And I think it's a huge part of what I do, and kind of, who I am is that like continued giving back to community, and one opportunity leads to another opportunity. And the way sock gooning works is after your third year, which for me was last year, you receive a coin if you've earned it, and then you can recommend more people in. So I was able to sponsor 3 new goons this year that are all going to be starting for the first time. So I think it just kind of carries forward into bringing more people in, and bringing in people from different backgrounds as well too.
That's amazing. I think this is something really incredible you have shared. Like, I remember like what all Megan was sharing somehow through personally chatting with her, meeting with her, or through her LinkedIn. I've seen this journey transpiring into what she's sharing today. Where she started off with Diana Initiative and how things moved on with DIF CON and other conferences. And to everyone who does not know, she has been a presenter many times in all of these conferences that we are talking about today. So it's very inspiring to see like not only Megan growing, but I've also personally seen Megan like this has given us an opportunity to like lead things and initiatives. So if not at the job where we start as ICs, I think opportunity with conferences and these community collaborations is more around giving us opportunity to like lead things, think out of the box, like think about strategies, planning. And for example, Megan just shared like she sponsored 3 goons this year. This is it might not sound very big to, I don't know, it to others, but for personally me, it's a very big achievement. And for her, it's a very big achievement because it has transpired something into so productive in the last 4 years, and which has definitely helped building these good strengthened relationships at DEFCON. It builds a trust around you, which I definitely know. Like any person that I mail today, like we have a community collaboration going with DEFCON today, this year, sorry, and everybody knows Megan. So I think this is something you don't earn with just one visit. You just earn over time. So that's really incredible, Megan, and thank you for sharing that. Um, Harini, you're going for the second time. How was your experience first time in terms of networking? You also mentioned in the beginning of our conversation that you are an introvert. You wanted to start with a small conference. These conferences might like they can be very intimidating as well. And when it comes to like personal or professional networking, how was your experience last year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think last year got yeah kind of lucky with starting out with B-Sides Las Vegas and also as a speaker. So that was a good opportunity because the speakers were put in one room, like before and after the session. So that was nice to have like a small group to talk to. But I think the one thing I kept telling myself and is to not be afraid, like take up space. Like you're probably not going to make a mistake if you like just approach somebody, because most people there are also want to network and get to know new people. So you're standing next to someone by like the coffee table, or you sit next to someone at the session. Yeah, I think not being afraid to make that first introduction, I think would go a long way. Yeah, and I think also just I'm like a big like note taker, so this might be the way I do it. But I think it'd be helpful to just like maybe jot it down on your phone, like on jot down like the name or LinkedIn like contact of people that you're meeting, because you're going to be meeting a lot of people, and you want those conversations to continue even after the conference. Like Megan brought out a great example of how meeting someone there, and then you continue to stay in touch, and you can do a project or speak together. So you're probably going to accept a lot of LinkedIn connections, but I think just jotting down a few names of people who stood out to you as having common interest or something to learn from would help you reflect after the conference and continue that connection. So yeah, so this year I'm looking forward to doing more of that.
Are you planning to meet like some of the people you met for the first time, let's say last year? Are you planning to meet them this year? Like, is that going forward in terms of networking?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm still yet to reach out people, but I absolutely want to, ping people, see which conferences they are going to attend, and also
Mhm.
not just the conference. I think Megan mentioned this earlier too, but there are a lot of great conference parties. So the
Yep.
networking doesn't have to be limited to just the conference time. And I think personally, I had a great time networking at the conference parties. So yeah, I'm going to be reaching out to people to see if they're going to be in any of these. I think I signed up for Rinki Sethi's party on Thursday, I believe. Last year she hosted a party and it was great. And that's actually where I ran into someone from another community who was also had like a shared like mission and value. I think Isaka was the one. So that gave us
Yep.
some inspiration on what we
Yeah.
could do for our community and also like a future collaboration. So I think these are like great venues to run into people who share, like common goals, and you can, who knows, you might find your like next collab there. So
Absolutely. So are you excited like from first time to the second time? Has the excitement increased and the like nervousness and anything that we are intimidated about, like we're like intimidated about the crowd and everything, has that gone down in terms of like going there for the second time?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the first time, I think, yeah, for me, Black Hat was a huge like difference, because I've gone to other
Yeah.
conferences like I think RSA, not the US one, but RSA Singapore and VSIS and other like B-sides events, B-sides SF. But Black Hat was just huge. And I think for the first day, it was a lot taken. By the second day, I grew a bit more comfortable. I also want to like highlight like the business halls in Black Hat, because sometimes the companies also do presentations of like maybe 20 to 30 people. So that's also like a small group where you already know the other person is also somewhat interested in the topic to be there in the
Yeah.
first place. So that, that may also was like less overwhelming. So I plan to do a bit of both, some sessions, and then also spend some more time in the business halls this year.
Awesome. Like that sounds like a plan. And I think somebody, as Harini shared, she's introvert. So I think now, if you are introvert or you're planning to go or you're nervous, I think this gives you a great message in terms of planning and going and just making those strong connections as she's planning to have them again and meet them again. Kriti, tell me one thing. I think we are having these conversations in the chat as well. Megan and Harini have also brought that these parties that we have, networking events that we have, would you mind sharing some context about them in terms of like some people have posted in the chat, like, are they free? Can we go if we have the conference pass? Is it invite only? So do you want to like put some light there and share your experience?
Most of the parties are free. I haven't seen any party for which you have to pay to get in, but you have to register. If you're attending a conference, as we were talking about, besides they have a board game. So, if you're attending the conference, you can attend the board game night, and sometimes they also have, like, after the conference ends, like a reception party where all the attendees can get together, like a networking sort of event. And the rest, for which I think Megan shared the link, the conference parties, these are the ones which companies organize at different venues. And you can register for them, they're all free. They just have a capacity, some of them. So you might get on a wait list, and if they have a capacity, you'll get in. But there are so many, like each day, different. So even if you do not get into one, just try the other one. And it's not like I haven't seen anywhere you have to pay. Like you'll have parties which are like for some where they will organize breakfast, some will organize lunch. Conferences also organize lunch. That also becomes like a good opportunity because people from like that's the space where everyone is sitting and you get on table, you can talk to the people on your table. And for dinner, lots of the whole conference list that is there. So no, nothing is paid. And I feel conference, I've seen a couple of questions came in, imposter syndrome or how do we approach. So parties could be a good place because you do not always have to start talking about cyber. Maybe you go and start talking about who are you and then just introduce yourself. And probably there are some parties which are going to be like, for example, last time there was a party which was at Top Golf. So probably you meet there and you are playing and then you just network with someone and then you start talking. That's a different kind of, I think, icebreaker that you get with these parties. So probably I would say definitely pick one at least for one day. That's added and also helps you calm down after a whole day of running around attending sessions. So it's a good thing to do, I think.
Thanks, Kriti. I think that was very important and a very important call out because I was seeing all of that going in the chat, and I really wanted to bring this up for everybody. And I think one more thing which all of us can do here is for the attendees, we can share our LinkedIn's. If you want to connect, we can connect. And I totally understand imposter syndrome. It has come to each one of us, and it sometimes comes back again. It's not like it goes away, so it does happen. And if what we have shared still makes you feel that way, you can connect with us over LinkedIn. All of us are going to Hacker Summer Camp this year. You can message us. We can connect there. We can meet there if you want to start with us and if you feel comfortable meeting us there. So, and if you're looking for someone to meet and network, so all of us, at least here, we're happy to meet you all. So we'll be posting our LinkedIn chat. Thanks, Megan, for doing that. Kriti, Harini, Shivani, if you can also post your LinkedIn links, people can connect with you and you guys can connect and meet there at the conference too. Um, Coming back to all of these experience that we have been sharing from like going to Hacker Summer Camp, the scheduling, the planning, the networking, career-wise, like for one thing I want to just highlight while we move to the last section of this segment is for me, when I last went to Hacker Summer Camp 2 years ago, I was laid off. And many times when you're in that situation, you try to pull yourself off from crowded scenarios like conferences and stuff. You might not want to meet people maybe because people will meet you and they're going to ask you like, hey, where do you work for? And you would be like, hey, I work here, but I got laid off. But I tried a different approach that time. I was presenting with Megan that year, and I was like, okay, this happened with me and it's not my mistake, so let's go there. Let's meet people. I'm looking for a job, but it does not make my skills look down. I have skills. I am a skilled person. I'll go there. I'll meet people, and it actually brought me two interviews when I got back home, and that really helped me boost my confidence too. Because I spoke with Megan at one of our sessions at Black Hat. We got appreciation. We had a great discussion. So it just brings your confidence back in some way new. So if you're just feeling lost at certain point, going to these conferences, I'm not just saying from speaking perspective, just meeting people, having a good time. Um, when you talk to people, sometimes there are your skill sets which you don't realize you have. when people share those kinds of compliments or those kinds of perspectives with you when you meet them, it also really helps. It also helps when you meet other folks. Like in business hall, I met few recruiters last year. So there's a very good chance that if you're looking for a job, business hall is a great place, I would say, to start with. Many times you'll see different business halls for different companies. Folks standing there, they might know someone from the company, might get connected with you after the conference. So I just wanted to highlight that before we move on to our last segment for this session. So don't feel shy, I would say. Even if you feel shy, just go with the flow. All of that will go away once you're passed through that time. So let's just go with the flow. And I think that would really, really help. It has helped me in the past. So I just wanted to share that. And with that, I want to move towards a very critical segment here, which is talking about wellness and safety. Many times when folks are coming from like outside US or even within US, sometimes they have good as well as bad experiences or something to watch out for when you are going to these conferences. So if anyone out of you all, like Meghan, Shivani, Harini, and Krity, if you have any experience where you want to share with people, like watch out, this thing can happen and be careful of that. So I would like to start with Meghan, and then I would let all of you one by one chime into this conversation. But yes, Meghan, let's start with you. Any don'ts which you want to start with?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we hear about this happening every year, and it happened at least several times last year at DEF CON 32, which was 2024. I and it usually happens to younger women, and an older gentleman might approach her and say, "Oh, is it your first time here, or have you been to DEF CON a lot of times?" And just start engaging in a conversation. Then comes to find out that maybe she's looking for a job or looking for promotion or just some sort of mentorship. And the guy will say, "Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to help you out. I'm a hiring manager. I have this power, I have that power," right? So there's a power imbalance. But then he'll say something like, "Well, the convention right now is at the Las Vegas Convention Center. The LVCC is so crowded, so busy, we can't even really hear each other. There's so much going on." And then it will be suggested, "Well, let's go off campus. I'll treat you to lunch or I'll treat you to dinner or something like that, and we'll continue this conversation." Unfortunately, what could sound like a very like innocent, like a great opportunity to expand one's skill set and networking can sometimes turn into something more nefarious, and it can put someone into a very awkward situation. So we very much so recommend that if you're at the convention center or if you're at UNLV for Diana Initiative or Tuscany for B-Sides LV or Sahara for SquadCon or Mandalay for Black Hat or wherever one of the parties is, don't leave the official space with someone you don't know. Don't leave the official space with someone you just met who's making you promises. It might turn into something else. But if you ever find that like you are offered this situation and you're unsure, or you get lost, or you're confused, or you just want someone to talk to, there is a group that's available the whole time that DEF CON is open, and it's called Hotline. And I'll post the number. I do recommend putting this in your phone because you might end up needing this, or you might know someone who ends up needing this. And it's trained volunteers who go through a training starting in like March, all the way through to DEF CON, and are really empathetic and there to listen, and just help out with anything that people might need. So I really hope that no one ends up in that situation. Always think safety first, buddy system. I think someone said earlier in the chat, be here to help each other. We should be here to help each other, and you shouldn't just let someone go off on their own. And you shouldn't just go off on your own, especially with a strange person. And so that is a good number to be able to call. And you can also report people. So if you notice that there is code of conduct violations, you can report that. And we end up banning people from DEF CON every year due to code of conduct violations, but we don't know what we don't know. So reporting can be hard, but it is something that we've even seen through the recent DEF CON lawsuits that the people reporting will be very protected. DEF CON will go to bat for people and make sure that their identities are protected against very powerful people, and make sure that that system of anonymity is kept sacrosanct. So Like I said, hopefully no one needs this, but the number's there. There's a service that's there that's free for anyone to use. You don't even have to be a DEF CON attendee. You can just call that number. So that's it. Just wanted to mention that. But overall, it's an amazing experience, but there can always be bad things that happen, and I hope that does not happen to any of you.
Thank you, Megan. I think that this is a very important and critical conversation because um, things can happen, and like these conferences are, to be honest, very, very safe, but people are not who are coming from outside sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes we have these experiences. And I think another thing I want to highlight from my experience was 2 years ago, we were called out for networking for some company. I don't want to take out their name. It wasn't from here in the US. It's just from somebody from outside. They called us for a collaboration since we run a community here for women, and when we went there, it just sounded very shady. And suddenly we found that they were in that hotel where Black Hat was happening, and they didn't have the pass. And they were asking and requesting me and one other colleague of mine that, can you let us in? And that sounded really shady because they had just took, like, they had booked a room or a, I don't know, a floor in Mandalay Bay. And it was, again, it was like not sounded like a very trusted place. And we immediately left that place without saying anything, and we were like, we have to go, we'll just let you know. And it was very, very shady. So yeah, if you find someone who says that I don't have the pass, but you see them in the premises of the conference, don't let anybody in without a pass. And don't talk to those folks as well, because if they don't have a pass and then they're just around, because it's a global conference, everybody know when it's happening, on which days it is happening. It's just out there, and not just Black Hat, but every other conference which is happening in Vegas at that point. So just be sure not to talk to strangers who do not have these passes and suddenly they're asking for some favors. So yeah, it just wastes your time. I'm just going to say that. So don't spend too much time on that. Um, just wanted to call that out. Shivani or Harini or Kriti, do you have any don'ts to share from your side before we like conclude and take few questions before we wrap off?
I would just add one thing. See, you can find people and they'll be like, let's catch up for coffee and everything. But like, if you are in the venue, for example, if you are at Tuscany, where B-Sides is happening, there are spaces, so many spaces where the conference is happening in that area where you can sit with them, talk to them. And inside, you can find coffee. You do not really have to go out to get coffee. There are going to be like cafes, or there are going to be booths where they're serving. So probably just keep that in mind. Even if someone offers you and you think that it's genuine and you want to connect, just keep that in mind. Maybe you can just suggest, like, we can maybe sit here or like sit in the coffee shop that's right in the venue, and do not try to leave the space. And buddies, it's very important. Like last time, Harini and I, we did stick together. And even if you're going alone, that's fine. You will find people there. Like first day, second day, you will find someone you feel you can stick together with, and try to navigate through the conference with them. That's just makes things easier. It takes the stress out of the head. Asta, I think you're on mute.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was
No.
not able to off-mute myself. But yeah, I was just going to say that's a very, very good point that you have brought up, Kriti. And yeah, it's very important for us to be very mindful, very careful. And it's important, like I read one comment, like verify your Uber driver and everybody, because you would be taking cabs and rides throughout these conferences. Um, Anything else? Any last words that you have, like all four of you? Again, I'll circle back to Megan again. Any last things that you want each one of us in this session today to remember from this panel? Anything top of your mind?
I mean, just enjoy the week. It's an amazing time. I and keep coming back because every year there'll be new and different things that you can test out and try out. So, have fun. I'm happy to connect with folks and meet up. I'll be there throughout the week. So, and a number of us are giving talks too. So if you wanted to come attend our talks, you're welcome to. I know I have a talk. Aastha, you have a talk. Krity, you have one as well, right?
Yep,
Asta and
with
I are
me.
doing the talk
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, it's a great week. Definitely support each other. I just saw looking through the names. I know there's several people here who also have talks and events too. So feel free to share those as well.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're planning to attend, or if you know somebody in your connections, like if they have a session coming up, or if you are presenting, please feel free to share. Shivani, any last things top of your mind from this panel?
Yeah. So I would say, like, don't try to fit in. Be as yourself as you are. Be authentic, because the space always expands when you show up as yourself. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be myself and enjoy Black Hat. I will be there from 5th to 8th, and I'm excited to meet everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to meeting Shivani for the first time. We have known each other for years now, but yeah, this would be the first time we would be meeting, so I'm very excited for that. Harini, any last things top of your mind?
Yeah, yeah. I just would also like to echo to remember to have fun. There's going to be a lot of events, opportunities there. So of course we talked a lot about like prioritizing and just planning your day, and also just like resetting each day. But I think more important than that, don't be afraid or feel bad to take breaks as well. Take some time to recharge, because if you're going to be there for multiple days, it's important to kind of ground yourself and recharge before you show up for the next day. Otherwise, it can be too exhausting. Stay hydrated, recharge, and have fun.
Thank you. Kriti, any last words from you?
I think eventually we're all going to waste. There's so much to do. Just do not be all focused like 12 hours a day. You're just like going around cyber. There's so much to do. As Harini said, take breaks. And in breaks, you can go attend shows, probably roam around the strip, just be with your friends, take that time for yourself. And the last thing, stay hydrated, keep a snack. You can get hungry. You won't even know. Just keep munching in between and have a good time.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And thank you everybody for your time today. Those who are attending, those of you who are presenting today with us. Do you all have any other questions? What I'm trying to do on my end is if I can put you all as like to come off mute if you want to say any final words, any questions. So one by one, you can see yourself. Your like you can unmute yourself or you can come on camera if you want to. So I'm in that process. So yeah, feel free to do that. I'm going to give you all a minute to, like, if you have any questions, put it in the chat. Or if you want to come off mute, please come off mute. I think I'm making slowly everybody giving an opportunity. Sorry, Teams is a bit slow, but I'm trying my best to make you all come off mute. Yep, I think all of you can now. So if anybody wants to come off mute or share any last thoughts, any last questions before we wrap up. Anyone?
It looks like one person is typing in chat.
Yeah, I saw that. If you're comfortable, you can also unmute yourself. I've made all of you as presenters. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for joining us today. If no one has any other questions, we can wrap up this session. Hi, Catherine. I can see you on camera. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It was really helpful. Yeah, I'll be volunteering at B-Sides on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So hope to meet some of you in person and have fun, be safe, and yeah, good to see you
Thank
soon.
you. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
thanks, Catherine.
And thank you for coming. And thank you everybody for your time today. Yeah, looking forward to meet everyone who's coming to the conference this year. I think in another just 1 week more.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank
And
you.
thank you all for joining and thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. I'm
Bye.
already
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
excited. Bye bye.
Bye.